Good morning. Good morning. Happy Monday. Good morning, my friends and subscribers on YouTube and Facebook. I am Sharice Watson. I am a menopause wellness coach and the author of But My Vagina Still Works, a menopause wellness journal. I made myself a live schedule, and this is the third Monday morning I'm coming live to you with the purpose of giving you something that will motivate you for this upcoming week. And because Mondays can be hard, it can be hard to get yourself motivated on Monday. And so that's why I come here. Now, I am on Facebook and YouTube simultaneously through the Restream app, Restream. And as I always do, I connect TikTok on my iPad. And the reason is I haven't been able to integrate TikTok into Restream yet. I don't know if I ever will. TikTok is a whole different animal, but here we are. So I talked to you all first to let you know that I'm going to add TikTok on my iPad. And in the TikTok audience, there are people that come regularly for my lives and participate, sometimes even come on the live with me as a co-host. So you may see me looking up at the iPad and not saying anything. That's because I'm listening to what someone is saying on TikTok, and I hear them through this. And I can't, make it so you all can hear the person. Otherwise, there'd be feedback. So I tell you all that just so you know, if I'm sitting looking like this, I'm looking and paying attention to something that someone is saying or doing. Now, you can chat with me. You don't have to sit there and not participate. If you put something in the comments and chat with me, I will gladly answer any questions. So feel free to do that. And soon I'll just add TikTok. Now, today it's Monday Menopause Motivation. So we're going to be talking about something that I feel like may motivate you. And I hope it does because, like I said, Mondays can be crushing. And we can't let it because we always have to maintain our positivity. Yesterday we had the live Sunday brunch live at 11 a.m. That happens every Sunday. And then we have Monday Menopause Motivation. And then on Wednesday, I have a Sacred Pause at noon. And on Thursday, we Thrive Live. So that's my live schedule on Thursday at 6 p.m. That is my live schedule if you ever want to join me live. But I do put the replays on Facebook and YouTube. And I see some of you watching that mostly on Facebook. So thank you to my Facebook family for watching the replays of my lives. I certainly do appreciate it. And YouTube, I don't know what you're doing right now, but it is what it is. I I try not to pay attention to numbers because if I did, I'd probably just quit. Anywho, I'm going to add TikTok to the live. And so, just keep in mind, I'm not ignoring you, Facebook and YouTube. I'm simply paying attention to where the audience is interacting. And I encourage you to interact as well. I would really appreciate it. So, good morning, and thank you for joining the live. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning. Thank you for joining the live. Hi, Willow Duchess. Ooh, look who is gracing me with her beautiful presence. I love it. Good morning. Good morning. How are you today? Welcome to my Monday Menopause Motivation. I'm hoping to motivate today. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, Alba, and my publisher, Sacred Pause Publications. Thank you for joining the live today. I come on here, I have a live schedule. Yeah, I have a live schedule. And I go live 4 times a week now. So I go live on Sunday mornings at 11 a.m. for Sunday Brunch Live. And then I go live on Monday mornings for Hi Filmmaker for Monday Menopause Motivation. And Wednesday, I go live at 12 noon for a Sacred Pause at noon. And Thursday, I go live at 6 p.m. for Thursday Thrive Live. And there's a purpose for this. I find that if I try to keep some type of schedule, I stay motivated. So I want to pass on that motivation to anybody that comes in my live today. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining me on Monday Menopause Motivation. Thank you for joining the live. Today, I want to talk about something. I'm a menopause wellness coach. Let me just introduce myself for those who don't know who I am. I am Sharice Watson. I am a menopause wellness coach, and I am working for the company A Sacred Pause LLC. A Sacred Pause LLC is a company that is dedicated to helping women transition easier through peri and postmenopause. So that is the mission. And that is why I go live to talk to you all about these things. And what I use to coach women as a menopause wellness coach is this journal, But My Vagina Still Works, a menopause wellness journal. This is one of the tools I use to coach women through peri and postmenopause easier. And so we've made a live schedule and we're sticking to it as much as possible. Right after I made the live schedule, I got COVID after I went to see Jill Scott. So it was difficult that week, but I'm still going and I'm happy to be here. And I hope that I can say something today, something that will motivate you through the week. If not, you can drop back in on Wednesday afternoon at 12 noon. That's when I do a sacred pause at noon. And we literally do things in the live to calm your nervous system. So these lives are here for a purpose. And one of those purposes is to create community among women going through peri and postmenopause. Because in my journal, one of the sections is called Social Wellness in Menopause. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining the live, Esther, Miss Quanda, Brielle. Thank you for joining the live. One of the sections of the journal, But My Vagina Still Works, a menopause wellness journal, which is available in the TikTok shop. One of the sections is called Social Wellness in Menopause. And I realized on this 21-year journey through my menopause metamorphosis, I realized that that was something that was lacking early on in my journey, where I could have used guidance or help from someone who had been through the journey or who was going through it. And it was hard for me to find that. So I wanted to be a help to other women who are transitioning through peri and postmenopause. And that's why I wrote the journal. And I use the journal as a menopause wellness coach to help women through their transition. Okay, so that, as I said, is available in the TikTok shop. But that's not why I'm here today. This is Monday Menopause Motivation, because Mondays can be difficult to get motivated. And I had some thoughts I wanted to share with you on this Monday Menopause Motivation. And I hope that it helps someone to get through this day and the rest of the week easier. I was scrolling along this morning on TikTok, right? And I saw a woman talking about melanated menopause. Now, she didn't look like me. Okay, so I was like, what does she know about melanated menopause? Right? And I looked at the video, and she was talking about what I thought she was talking about the studies out there that show that African American women, specifically Black women in America, experience menopause very differently than other women. And I know why. If somebody in the comment knows why, put it in the comments. I know why this happens. It's because of stress. It's because of epigenetics. It's because of trauma that we've experienced that no one else has or does experience. So we tend to start menopause earlier than other women. And our menopause experience is different because it's more severe. The symptoms are more severe than any other ethnic group. And we can tend to be in menopause for longer than any other ethnic group. And I guess you're saying, how is that encouraging? You said this was menopause motivation, and you're telling me about all this trauma. It is what it is. That is what we have to go through as Black women. Hi, Jimmy. Thank you for joining the live. King Clem, thank you for joining. Beyond Beautiful, thank you. Okay, so why is it? I just said it's like epigenetics. It's our trauma. It's our past traumas of our mothers that they went through, and they were silent about their menopause journey. I don't know. My mom didn't talk to me about hers until I started talking about mine. So a lot of them are just, I got through it. Don't worry about it. You will too. It's not that easy for everybody. It wasn't for me. And, that's why I chose to be a help to other women. But I do want to say something. And I know a lot of Black women now do not like to be called superheroes, right? Because, I need to be allowed to rest and not be the nurturer, the mother of everybody, the carer of everybody. So stop telling me I'm strong. But the fact is, we are. And especially when you live beyond a certain lifespan in this country, as a Black woman, you are strong. That's just the fact. You don't have to carry that trope as a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's only a bad thing if you allow it to be. You can be strong. And I'm going to talk about that. But first, I want to mention, I don't know if any of you all ever watched a show on Amazon Prime called Hunters. It had Al Pacino in it, and it's a really good show. I wish they would make more of it, but they had a character in that show called Roxy Jones. And Roxy was talking to her daughter one day, and because her daughter had seen her doing all these things, she asked her mother, "Are you a superhero?" And the response to that, this show is not new, but the response to that just stayed with me for so long up until this point. Roxy told her daughter, "I'm a Black woman in America, baby. Superheroes ain't got nothing on me." And that stuck with me. That stuck with me because it's true. If we live to a certain age as a Black woman in this country, you have accomplished something great, because a lot of us don't make it. And a lot of us don't make it because of menopause. I don't know if you know this, but the rate of unaliving goes up in women in menopausal years. And you're not going to hear about this is the reason why, but I've experienced that kind of depression twice in menopause, where in my perimenopause and in postmenopause, it is a real thing and it's a dark place to be. So getting through that kind of does make you a superhero, I think. Anywho, I agree with Roxy. And, it's because it ain't easy. And one of the things that happened to me way back in the 80s, I know it's long ago in the 80s, I had an addiction. And it had gotten really bad. And I mean, I'm lucky to be here, honestly. I left my children at one point because of that addiction. And I came out of it, and I attended some NA meetings at the time. So these are things that stuck with me. I will go into that, I guess. Thank you, though, for the compliment. There's a lot I do, and mostly I make my own serums. I'll just put it out there like that. I do make my own serums for my skincare. But back to what I was saying, when I went to NA, I was introduced to the prayer that most people from NA are introduced to, and I know that a lot of people know that prayer as the Serenity Prayer, and that is a wise prayer, because this is how you can be a superhero and still take care of yourself, is by practicing the Serenity Prayer. Okay, you've got to recognize that stress causes your menopause symptoms to be worse. I'm letting you know now that stress causes your menopause symptoms to be worse, your hot flashes to be more frequent and more intense. Now, you can't control all stress. You really just can't. And so you have to make a practice of trying to control what you can control. And that's part of the Serenity Prayer. Control what you can control. Let go of the things that you cannot control and know the difference. That is something that women in menopause, especially brown skinned girls like me, should live by, because you can take on the whole world. And yes, you have the strength and the power to do it. Clearly, being a Black woman in America past the age of 30, okay, is a superpower. I don't care what nobody says. So you have the strength in you, and it's there. And so don't be ashamed of it. Just know the things, recognize the things that you can control, and let go of the things that you can't. Don't let them become a burden. Don't let your past indiscretions become a burden and keep your future from blossoming. Okay? Because when you get into peri and postmenopause, one thing that gets strong is your negative self-talk. And so you can talk yourself into a dark place. I don't know why that happens. I know it does, though. It didn't just happen to me. I know it happens for other women too. And I just tend to think that it has a lot to do with, estrogen leaving, as everything else we go through. But estrogen affects the brain, and people don't talk about that a lot. They talk about hot flashes, night sweats, all the things that are visible physical symptoms. But there's a different part to menopause that's a mental part. So when that starts to go, a little cuckoo, you start having some really bad thoughts. And so, the stress that you're under, the bad thoughts, all of that can become overwhelming. A lot of women are walking around overwhelmed right now. And I say that you need to look up the Serenity Prayer, look it up, read it, and put it to practice. Okay? Recognize the things around you that you do have control over. The things that you don't have control over, that you cannot change, let it go. And learn to tell the difference between the two. That's something that can work well for you in menopause. And that's what I came on to talk about today on Monday Menopause Motivation. And I don't stay on live for hours. In fact, I'm going outside to get some exercise, which right now it's not over 100 degrees, so I can. That's another thing you need to do in menopause is move. Motion is medicine. Okay, thank you, Kwanda. Thank you so much. I don't think I said your name right. Kwaneka. Kwaneka. Thank you. Thank you, John. Hey. No. Wow. Okay, so that's it. That's what I came to talk about today. And I hope you all will join me on Wednesday. On Wednesday, we're going to talk about ways of lowering your cortisol. Your cortisol hormone spikes in peri and postmenopause too, because it's because of stress. You've got to control the stress. And so I'll be back on Wednesday at noon to give you some help in trying to get your cortisol levels down by simple holistic techniques. Okay. And I thank everyone for joining me today. And I thank everyone who had nice things to say in the live, not John. Okay. You have a good day though, too, John. I'll see you guys on Wednesday.